Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I'm bringing to you guys is a pet guide for Lost Ark. Now this is going to be a sort of beginner's guide and a few nifty tips and tricks to do with pets in Lost Ark that are not immediately obvious or things that you may have missed if, like the majority of players, you don't read every single bit of text. Now obviously there may be some tips and tricks that I do miss out of this video, so if you see anything or know anything that I don't include, do feel free to leave it in the comments. But I'm going to try to go over most of the main functions of the pets, things you can do with your pets, and why they are actually really useful in the game outside of just aesthetically looking very cool. Now before we fully jump into today's video, if you haven't already done so, please do go down below and drop a subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on. I do upload brand new content every single day, and it would be amazing to have you guys here as part of the channel community. Without further ado, let's jump into it. So the first thing here is to go down into the bottom right, click on guides, or tap in Alt P, and that is your default menu to bring up your pets. Now as you will see here, I have got all of the Twitch drop ones, I've got my founders pack cat, and then I also have the bunny from the initial guide quest into pets, as well as when you go ahead and use a power pass and complete the main segments of the story again, you get access to a little bird pet here, which is pretty cool as well. So what you will be able to see is all of the pets you have available in this menu. Now with this you can click into each of these and it will tell you what pets do. So you have an auto loot function, which is whenever loot is dropped on the grounds, pets will pick up that nearby loot. Now with this, what's something important that people tend to miss is the auto loot setup. So you can actually loot currency, loot adventurer's tome, obtain island materials, obtain gear and items, and then you can also filter this by the tier of the gear, the item rank, so whether you want normal and above, uncommon or above, rare and above, epic and above, legendary, relic, etc. And it will just pick that tier and above, so be aware when you click on uncommon, they will no longer pick up normal items. Also item level, you can set the item level for the minimum for it to pick up, and also the usable level, so usable level for the items to be picked up. The default is just everything ticked and tier 1 and normal 0 0, so it picks up pretty much everything, but you can filter that as you get further into the game. For most of us that will be more useful when we hit late tier 2, early tier 3 and beyond, because that's when we want to start to filter out some of the worst gear. Now in this menu as well, you will also be able to see your pet effects. Now by default, most of these come with vitality training, which is your max HP plus 5%, and also the improved crit, which is crit plus 10%. These are two really good effects that are applied by the pet, but these can be changed, and I'll show you guys that in just a moment. Now on the end here, if you have a Crystalline aura active, which is the premium aura currency type thing that you can get in the game, kind of like a subscription basis, you buy it with crystals through the in-game shop or with real life currency in order to exchange for it, and you'll see if it's active in the top left by this green one here. Most of us got these with our founders or starters packs, so the chances are you will have some, at least for now. And if you do have it active, you'll be able to see that the pet functions are pet inventory, remote storage, market, remote mail, remote repair, and remote tool repair. Now this tells you when the Crystalline aura expires, so mine's got 29 days left, and this can be accessed at any time via the pet in-game, which again I will show you guys in just a second. Finally on this screen, obviously you can twist the pet around to have a good look at it. You can rename it if you want to as well by clicking on this one here and typing in a name. Now, in terms of how you can actually access the pet's functions, if you hold control and right click it, it's the middle function here, you've got pet functions. If you click on that, it will bring up this interface. Now this shows you that you have access to your inventory, your personal storage, and your roster storage. You also have access to the market, which is on the interface as well, the community interface down in the bottom, but this is just another little window that you can bring it up in. You also have access to your mail, and this is specifically good if someone sends you mail with an item in and they don't use express mail, you can claim it from here. And you also have access to repairs, so you can repair all of your equipped gear or gear in inventory. And finally, one that I find particularly useful, tool repairs. When you're out and about gathering and doing life skills, this can be really useful to just have access to on the fly. So I've used this several times, and this is a great little addition. Now on the minimap, if you are looking to change the pet's active abilities, you are looking for the pet management, which is sort of the dog head with the color on here, and these will be different named in each of the different settlements or cities, whatever you want to call them, but it will always be the same sort of dog's head with a red color on, the same icon every single time. You head over to that and you can interact with that NPC to change your pet's abilities for free. So when you actually go over to the NPC, if you interact with them, you can pick whichever pet you want by right-clicking on it or left-clicking on it, and it will bring it into this retrain section. Now what you can do here is retrain the abilities, so you can click onto one of these and it will show you the options of changeable pet effects that you have available to you. Right now there is physical defense plus 10%, magical defense plus 10%, physical damage reduction plus 5%, and magical damage reduction plus 5%. And that is for the top slot instead of your max HP plus 5%. And in the bottom slot, instead of having crit plus 10, you can have specialization plus 10, domination plus 10, swiftness plus 10, endurance plus 10, or expertise plus 10. Now again, these will be more useful as you get later into the game, when you get to the end of tier 1 / the start of tier 2. This will be when you really start to particularly spec into certain attributes and certain different functions of a build. For me, swiftness would probably be good, but crit is also really good, so I'm going to leave it as crit right now, because swap out to swiftness, that would be increased speed in casting, and also, you know, reduction of cooldowns, really good. Specialization is another good one for me. It allows my specialization meter to fill up quicker, allowing me to enter the empowered mana state, which you get as a sorceress. So you can actually change these out depending on what your build wants to be, and you can change them at any point for absolutely free. And as you can see here, it says once retrained, your pets can be retrained again without any conditions, meaning you can swap these out as often as you would like and as often as you need to without any consequences, and can do this regularly throughout the day, whether you're doing different types of content or whether you just want to switch it up and try out a different thing to see how it works with your build. You can do this an unlimited amount of time. Most people just click on the top one and think those are the only options that you have. There is actually obviously 2 options there, so make sure you are exploring both of those and changing it out to what you want it and need it to be. Now another function of the pets here is, as well as the corresponding colour for the aesthetic, this colour does relate to the ability or the element that the pet represents. So these red ones here are fire pets. The white bunny one is, of course, a frost pet, and those are just a couple of examples, but they do affect certain things, such as your ship and your crew when you are going from the stronghold. So if you go into your stronghold and actually go to your station, you will see that you have the ability to, of course, do these different voyages and complete your missions, etc., which does bring back certain rewards for your player. Now, these are automated missions, and you can click auto formation, and it will put in available crew. I actually have one of my crews doing a mission right now, so that's why there's only one guy here. But what the important thing here is for pets, if you have a look, you'll see that it has put my Firefox pet in there, and underneath it, it says it has the specialization of flame. Now, what we can do is go into here and have a look. You can see there the ice one for the rabbit, and the rest of these have flame. So actually, I've actually done this pretty incorrectly, because it means I've got 3 of the same element. Ideally, if you're not too bothered about aesthetic, particularly with all of the Twitch drops that we've had and the upcoming ones as well, what you will be able to do, and as you gather pets from in-game stuff as well, what you want to try and do is have a different pet for each different element. So obviously, if we have a look at all pets that I have, you'll see that my darkness pet, which is my cat here, that is luckily a different element. So I've got 3 of the elements available, but each mission has a different element where if your pet is the correct element, it increases your chance of adaptation or success to give you better rewards. So you'll see if I put in here the bunny rabbit, this is 2%, whereas if I put in the one of the flame ones, this is also 2%. But if I was to put in a different one, if we have a look onto the mission itself, it will tell me that this mission, when organizing specialized crew, adaptation increases by 16% if you have thorn, and adaptation increases by 11% if you have darkness. So there, my darkness pet would be really, really good. You can go down here. This one is frost and poison. This one is darkness and earthquake. This one is whirlwind and also petrification, and so on and so forth. So by automatically having different pets up until you've covered each and every base, you can actually increase the rewards that you will be getting from kind of your automated missions through the stronghold as well, which is really important because they do bring you a lot of stuff over time just passively, which is really, really good and will help you to progress much quicker within Lost Ark. So there is obviously the functional benefit there as well as the aesthetic benefit, and if you're like me, you've gone for aesthetic, now's the time to realize that and kick in when you get forward, getting your next pets wherever you get them from. Make sure that you pick something that you don't have elementally wise, so that you can get as much adaptation bonus from these automated missions from Stronghold and get the most rewards possible. Other than that, it is just going to be the aesthetics of the pet that you're picking from, which of course course, is an option that you can absolutely go for as well if you do just want to get the coolest looking pet in your opinion. That is absolutely fine, and other than the functions that I've mentioned here, they are just generally to follow you around and look badass while you're going around and killing all of the mobs, doing the bosses, doing the raids, whatever it is that you're doing that day. So enjoy the pets however you want to, but this is just hopefully some tips and tricks that might keep you in the loop with a few things to keep in mind when you are choosing and of course using your pets. Hopefully this video has been helpful to a lot of you. If it has, please do be sure to drop me a like and a subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't already done so. Let me know in the comments if there's any tips and tricks about pets that I haven't included that you think is really important as well. And other than that, guys, that is going to be it for today. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your time, and I will catch you again very, very shortly with a brand new upload. Take care, guys, and peace.